Welcome to Sputnik, orbiting the world with me, George Galloway.
And me, Gayatri.
It isn't every day we have the privilege of a president on the show. This is no ordinary president, but the president of a land whose people have been ethnically cleansed from their homeland to make way for a US war base, and on which the torture of kidnapped people from around the world appears to have taken place, and a base given to the US military by us, the British.
It is, of course, Diego Garcia, part of the Chagos Islands, highlighted on the show when we interviewed British TV host and human rights campaigner Ben Fogel in a landmark interview.
Today we can go one better and welcome onto the Sputnik the man chosen by the Chagossians to represent them on the world stage, their president, Allen Vincatassin. President, thank you for joining us. I'm struck by the British Union flag on your lapel. You live, of course, in Sussex, like thousands of others of your exiled compatriots. Don't you feel a little bit bitter about the British? Why are you flying their flag?
Well, Diego Garcia, my homeland is still a British overseas territory, and I wanted to remain such for more years because we were exiled between 1965-1973. We wanted to remain a British overseas territory because the UK has got responsibility to resettle us on our homeland.
Indeed they do. So this crime took place mainly under a Labour government in the 1960s. How do you think today's Conservative Prime Minister views your flight?
We submitted a memorandum to the Prime Minister before the general election, asking him to give us our right to return in a pilot resettlement. The problem that we have had is that there was no clear indication about the demand on the number of Chagossians who wanted to return. Certainly, the cost is a bit uncertain. The government has replied that they will need to do more work so that a final decision can be made.
Now, you've produced this book, The Flight to Freedom. Tell us what's in it.
The book, The Flight to Freedom, is about the story when I came for the first time with the first group in the UK for a better life, a new life, running away from poverty, which we were made to suffer in Mauritius by the UK government. So the book relates how I orchestrated the migration of our people in the United Kingdom.
You had the right to do so, of course, at the time, not a right that many people would have today. What's happened to your people since they were turfed out to make way for this American war base?
We were forced in abject poverty in Mauritius. We were considered as second-class citizens there. The state of Mauritius is having an issue with regards to sovereignty over our homeland. They want sovereignty from the UK, and that's why I'm here to fight for the cause of my people, because I believe this is our country. It should remain a UK overseas territory, and we as UK overseas territory citizens, we need to be able to return as such a citizen in our homeland.
And why can't you return? Are you physically barred? Does your passport preclude you? How do they actually bar you?
We are British citizens with a British passport, but because of the military base, a US military base in our homeland, it makes it impossible for us to return. There are several orders in council that have been done in this country to prevent us from returning, and there is still another one. But we continue to campaign on our rights of return. So recently, the Conservative government appointed the firm KPMG to do a feasibility study on return. The feasibility study shows clearly that there is no legal barrier to our return, except that the government must invest the money that is needed for a pilot resettlement. And I think that's a way forward. That's a moral way forward for the UK. Otherwise, we cannot stay continuously in exile from our homeland.
The lease for the US airbase on the islands is about to expire next year. Is this somehow stopping or bringing you more hope to return to the islands?
The lease will continue for another 25 years. It will not stop next year. If the UK or the US want to stop this agreement, then they will have to renegotiate it or it will come to an end. Whereas if both parties want to continue, there will be no negotiation.
Yeah.
And I believe this is the right time for the UK government to do the necessary to allow us back, and certainly to invest the money that is needed for a pilot resettlement, which is the capital cost is below 60 million. And I believe also that the Americans got a moral duty also to chip in some money for a pilot resettlement on Diego Garcia. The situation that we have is that we have a government that needs to make decision, and they need to make the decision quickly because our old people, the old natives, are dying.
Yeah.
And I'm among the last generations of natives, so it is very important that we be able to return. And with the changes that this government is bringing, certainly in giving more powers to Scotland and to Wales, and all these changes that are being brought in this parliament. So I think it is a moral duty of this government to allow us to return.
When Ben Fogel was here, he painted this extraordinary picture of the houses that your people had been forced to leave, now being inhabited by the kind of international jet set boat yacht owners stopping off, living in your houses for however long, and then sailing on to their next destination. So there clearly is no, as it were, physical reason why people cannot live in these houses, preferably the people whose houses they are, rather than international jet setters. What's to stop? Is there anything to stop a number of us just going there? Me, you, and a few hundred Chagossians from Crawley. Could they stop us if we did it?
Yes, there is a legal barrier now because of the orders in council. So if, for example, we take a boat or a plane, you can't land there, and a boat, you can't get there without a permission. This is
which navy would intercept you, the British or the US?
That would be the British and the US.
Both. Even though you're a British citizen,
yes,
effectively.
Yes,
that would be very embarrassing for the Prime Minister, I must say.
Yes, we have.
That makes it all the more attractive to me as an idea.
Yes, I think this is something that if this government doesn't do their best to resettle us quickly, I think that's the last resort that us as a people will have to do.
Yes, it'd be a kind of reverse boat people. Yeah. People leaving Europe to go back to their homeland, and the European Navy trying to stop them.
That's what I am asking. I'm asking this government to allow us to let us return, let us leave the UK for good to go in our country. There are many people coming to this country. We came to
They're
this
always
country.
complaining about it. They're
Yes.
always complaining about chaps your colour coming here.
Exactly.
This would be a reverse.
Yes, we want a law, we want a new orders in council allow us to return to our homeland. That's simple as that, but the government must foot the bill.
Of course. Does anyone champion your cause? The government is one thing. Have you persuaded the opposition, such as it is in the British Parliament, to adopt your cause?
I think the difficulty which the opposition has had in the past is that all happened under Howard Wilson, and this government has done things right in 1982 when they paid peanut compensation, but they tried to do something. And it is this conservative government also that has appointed KPMG to do the feasibility study. And I think this government got the right timing and the right decision. They can do it.
Well, I must tell you, if you're ever organizing an expedition to reclaim Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean, I want to be on board. I'll be one of your deckhands on the flagship as we go back. Gayatri too. Yes. She's from roughly, very roughly, that part of the world.
That's going to be great, because we are asking to return to our homeland in a very peaceful way, and we want the government to do the right thing. We want everybody to do the right thing, so that return is done smoothly. But if this government says that there will be no return, no pilot resettlement, nothing, I think that's the only alternative that we have.
Yes, we must take it into our own hands. How can people help you? How do they contact you?
They can contact me I'm on Twitter and I'm on Facebook. They can contact me, and certainly.
And there's a support group.
There is a Chagos, the UK Chagos support group.
They're doing a great job, I must say.
Doing very, very good job with the help of Ben Fogel and Philippa Gregory. So I think it's. I think we got a chance here, and I think the UK will need to do the moral thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
You're welcome.